My name is Jim Coston, Lead Pastor at FBCScottsdale, and I'm pleased to announce that on June 7th, we're going to worship together at 10:30 a.m. That is something that I've missed and we lost during the pandemic, but I'm excited that we'll be able to get back together. You know, a lot of things changed within the past several months. Face masks are now common. I keep a couple in my car, and when I go into stores, it's just habit now to put them on. I'm washing my hands constantly, using hand sanitizer, and frankly, when I'm done with this, I'll probably grab a little dollop of hand sanitizer and get those hands clean again. In very short order, we gained and took on a lot of new habits. But even with the new habits, we still long for those things of old, right? Back on March 7th and 8th and 9th and 10th and 11th, kind of before the cascade of our society is changing and closing and so forth, began to sing. Most of us, there were a lot of parts about pre-pandemic society that we liked and we were used to. People talk about the new normal. Well, there were some pretty cool things about the old normal. Those were the norms, and we'd made them that way and we liked them. The new normal is unsettling and different, and we don't know how it's going to last. Will we always wear masks? Will we always have to stay at a safe distance from each other? Will we always refrain from that contact? I don't know. Some suggest that we as human beings and as Christians just kind of grin and bear it to get through to this new normal, to just push ourselves to the end of this experience. I want to tell you not to do that. The pandemic is fertile ground for God to teach you. Don't just put your head down and push forth. Don't just say, let me just endure this time. Don't waste this season. Ask yourself what God is teaching you now. We go to the Bible and we think of the challenging periods as things to endure. The Israelites were 40 years in the wilderness between Egypt and the Promised Land. We say that they wandered through the desert for 40 years as though they didn't have a GPS or a map. Perhaps God used that period to truly make them His people and for Him to truly be their God. We read of the Babylonian destruction of Jerusalem and the exiles going into captivity for a generation. From that experience, we have the strong faith testimonies of Ezekiel and Esther and Daniel. Some say that they endured this time. I say this time formed and prepared Israel. We view the time after the prophets until the coming of Jesus as an in-between, an empty time. Intertestamental was the phrase they used in seminary. The Bible doesn't call it that, as though it's a gap. It says it was a time for preparing the way of the Lord. Don't dismiss these periods. It was training and preparation for what God was doing. The people learned of God's faithfulness and compassion and love. Exodus 16:4, I will rain down bread from heaven for you. The people are to go out each day and gather enough for that day. In this way I will test them and they will see whether they will follow my instructions. Daily the people learn to rely upon God. He provided every single day. Micah 7:19, you will again have compassion on us. You will tread our sins underfoot and hurl all our iniquities into the depths of the sea. This is speaking of the Babylonian period, that God would forgive the people and He would restore them. Isaiah 40:3-5. In the wilderness, prepare the way of the Lord. Make straight in the desert a highway for our God. Every valley shall be raised up, every mountain and hill made low. The round ground shall become level, the rugged places a plain. And the glory of the Lord will be revealed, and all people will see it together. This speaks of the time preparing for Jesus to come. Some Jews call these episodes in Israel's history desert lessons. Use these desert lessons, however long they last, however long we're in this desert lesson now, to seek God. Don't waste this experience trying to grin and bear it, putting your head down, just trying to push through. Ask, God, what would you teach me now? God, what can I learn about myself, about others, about Jesus in this time? God, what is the Spirit preparing me for right here, right now? What desert lessons does God have for me? We look forward to seeing you online again, and you can find our worship on Sunday mornings at 10:30. Again, June 7th. Hope we'll see you in worship.